They told him to expect his name sometime after midnight, maybe not at all. Yet under the blinding Barclays-Center lights, the microphone crackled. With the 16th pick, the Portland Trail Blazers select Yang Hansen. The arena gasped, the Chinese live stream exploded, and an unprepared 7-footer blinked into NBA history. How did a kid few scouts penciled higher than 35 leapfrog lottery blue chips? And why are execs whispering that this quiet giant might change the league far beyond the scoreboard? Stick around because the story behind draft night's biggest bombshell only gets stranger. Hours earlier, Portland shipped the number 11 selection, Cedric Coward, to Memphis for pick 16 plus a future first in 2 seconds, confident their real target would still be on the board. 30 minutes later, the gamble paid off, and Twitter timelines detonated. ESPN, The Athletic, and Tankathon had Yang safely tucked in the early 40s. One analyst wrote, "Stash candidate." Yet here he was, first-round hat tilted, face frozen in disbelief while Rich Paul grinned like a man sitting on buried treasure. But the shock wasn't only placement, it was symbolism. No Chinese player had crossed the first-round velvet rope since Yi Jianyan 18 years ago, and none had ever stepped in with such social media momentum already swirling. And that was just the opening tip. But hype alone doesn't buy floor time. Dig into tape from King Dao's 2024-25 campaign, and the stats jump first. 16.6 points, 10.5 boards, 3 dimes, 2.5 swats. A production buffet delivered in only 31 minutes a night. Yet numbers aren't what made Western scouts book that red-eye to Shenzhen. It was the vision. Yang snaring a rebound, swinging his hips, firing a no-look dart that splits a double. One Denver exec left the U19 worlds mumbling, "Jokic vibes minus the step-back threes." He isn't the Serbian maestro, few are, but the instincts feel eerily familiar. The early read on a back cut, the soft touch bounce pass from the elbow, the patience that makes half-court offense look like slow jazz. Portland saw a puzzle piece that could unlock its guard-heavy core without demanding touches. Sounds perfect, right? Well, every fairy tale prospect hides a glaring flaw. Flip the tape and fear creeps in. When CBA guards ran high pick and roll, Yang retreated into comfortable drop coverage. NBA guards will sniff that out like free popcorn. His strides are long, but his hips are glaciers. Switch him on to Ja Morant, and the possession ends in a gif. Shooting? Let's say the willingness is there. 29% on a lonely 3 per game. Free throws in the mid-60s. Development staffers will earn their paychecks bending that form until it snaps into league average range. And while the footwork on block spins looks promising, there's no go-to hook yet. Portland is betting years of reps can sand away those edges before playoff scouting reports weaponize them. So why risk a mid-first on a maybe? Because sometimes maybe is worth a billion eyes. Within 2 hours of the pick, #Yang Hansen topped Weibo trends. Rip City's online shop crashed as pre-sale jerseys vanished like concert tickets. Chinese broadcasters negotiated extra Blazers slots. State newspaper People's Daily ran a front-page photo, and e-commerce giant Taobao opened a dedicated Yang tab before he'd laced an NBA sneaker. Clutch boss Rich Paul, yes, LeBron's power broker, wrapped an arm around his new client and told reporters, "We're just getting started." He understands the math. Even a role player with China behind him can print money. Ask Washington, whose Rui Hachimura sponsorship surge paid for itself before his rookie deal did. Ask Memphis, where Yuki Kawamura two-way buzz tripled Japanese viewership last year. For Portland, Yang is both center and market expansion strategy, a dual bet few small market franchises can afford to ignore. But the league hasn't always had smooth seas across the Pacific. Remember October 2019, one tweet, 3 words, "Stand with Hong Kong," and suddenly the NBA's $5 billion China pipeline snapped overnight. Broadcasts vanished, sponsors fled, and Houston jerseys were yanked from shelves. It took years of quiet diplomacy, preseason Macau exhibitions, and LeBron soundbites to thaw the ice. Yet what the league craved most was a player to rally around, the way a 7'6" rookie named Yao Ming once turned Rockets games into national holidays. Beijing couldn't manufacture the next Yao. Talent trajectories refuse 5-year plans. Then Yang blitzed the CBA, sprouted 2 inches, and suddenly Adam Silver was watching Qingdao highlights on his phone. Portland's pick isn't merely team building, it's geopolitical balm, an olive branch in sneakers. Of course, an olive branch still needs water to grow. So where will the minutes come from? On draft day, Portland already rostered DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams III, and last year's lottery big Donovan Clingan. But hours later, Ayton's buyout whispers hit local radio, signaling a roster reset. Williams' knees remain question marks. Clingan is a paint-bound rim runner. That leaves a playmaking void perfectly shaped like Yang's 7'3" wingspan. Coach Chauncey Billups gushed at the introductory presser. "If training camp started tomorrow, I'm not afraid to start this kid." High praise or high leverage to nudge veterans toward the trade block. Either way, regular season reps are coming, and everyone will beam across Pacific primetime. But development is rarely linear, and China's spotlight is unforgiving. Picture the ceiling. By year 3, Yang threads laser passes to Scoot Henderson, sprays threes at 35%, and quarterbacks a top 10 defense from the nail. A lighter, longer Alperen Şengün with vertical pop. Portland becomes appointment viewing for 1.4 billion fans. Sponsorship cash floods the small market books, and the Blazers sprint back into contention without mortgaging picks. Now the floor. Lateral woes remain. Playoff offenses hunt him like wounded prey, and his minutes dwindle to specialist stints. Jerseys still sell, but on-court impact echoes Yao's understudy Yi John Lian. Flashes, not flames. Real life will likely land between those poles, but the margin matters. Global stardom rewards competence almost as handsomely as greatness. So was the 16th pick a basketball heist or a brand-building gamble with a 7-foot billboard? In truth, it's both. And that duality is what makes the Yang Hansen saga irresistible. One playmaker, 2 continents, infinite ripple effects. But we've barely scratched Act 1. Will Portland's newest resident mastermind prove the scouts right, or the cynics? Smash that subscribe button, because the next chapter could drop faster than a Yang outlet pass. And if you think the hype is already wild, just wait until his first no-look dime hits TikTok. Which side of the boom or bust fence are you on? Let me know below, and buckle up because the ride from Qingdao to Rip City has only begun.